It's time for another First Drives with Fred, and today I am driving the new Ford Maverick. Ford's known for trucks. They have the F-Series trucks, they have the Ranger trucks, they've developed the Tremor off-road package and the Raptor, and now they have this, which is not the thing that most of you viewers who follow me as an off-road guy are going to be like, that's cool, but it's actually a pretty reasonable vehicle for a certain type of customer. So I look at this and I see the modern version of the Ford Ranchero, the modern, like, you know, the Chevy El Camino and Ranchero where it was a car with a cab that just flowed right into a bed. That's what this is. Like, there's no separation of bed and cab. It's all one vehicle. It's all unibody, full independent suspension. This one's all-wheel drive, but they do have a two-wheel drive version. And it does have a bed, so you can haul stuff in it. Not a very big bed, 4.5 feet, 121-inch wheelbase, 2-liter engine, 8-speed automatic transmission. It doesn't have a 2-speed transfer case, but it does have a low setting, which just kind of holds the transmission in first and second gear so that it gets a little bit more torque to the ground for certain off-road things that you would be doing in it. What would you be doing in it? Well, it does have a mud and ruts setting. It also has a sand setting. So if you were kind of bombing around, light off-roading, gravel roads, maybe go out to the desert exploring, but not doing like hardcore rock crawling, this might be a vehicle you'd even consider. The thing about it is this is a great commuter vehicle. 25 miles per gallon. I've been driving this thing with total disregard for fuel economy, and it's getting right at 25. It's rated between 22 and 29 depending on city or highway and how you drive it, but it does get pretty good fuel economy. It's an Fx4 package, so that means it's kind of their off-road version. Has 17-inch wheels, all-terrain tires, tow hooks in the front, skid plates underneath, different shocks in the back, and also a sticker that says Fx4. It also is a Lariat edition, so it has kind of a nicer interior. In fact, a lot of these trucks, it's kind of wild because this is $37,430. Now, if you were to buy a $37,000, let's say F-150, it would be pretty stripped down. This one has heated seats and heated steering wheel and like all types of stuff, sunroof, fancy paint, a sliding back window. So it's kind of like you buy the cheaper truck, but you get a lot more amenities. And maybe you're not going to go to the hardware store and haul like 10 sheets of plywood, but you could haul your mountain bikes and a couple of your mountain bike friends to go up to the mountains and bomb around or go skiing or whatever. The bed, not the most useful, but it does have a lot of tie downs. It has like a power outlet back there, little cubbies. So you can put stuff in it. It's just not the same as like a giant 6.5 or 8 foot bed where you could like sleep in it. This one, I mean, you could sleep in it if you really curled up into the fetal position. It's fun to drive. It's zippy. It's very similar to the Ford Bronco Sport that I had a few months back, where it's the light duty off-road machine that is fun. This is the truck that either you're a young person and you're buying your first truck and you want truck capability, but you really need a commuter car. Or maybe you're some old guy or older person that wants to go to the hardware store, needs a vehicle that's not hard to climb into. You're basically gonna, like Dave and I will be driving these someday when we go to meet up at the diner and talk about our glory days back when Dirt Every Day was the hottest thing on the internet and the biggest thing in the off-road industry, or like at least that's the way we'll remember it. So is this what a lot of people want? I mean, Hyundai has the Santa Cruz, Honda has the Ridgeline, so there are other competitors in that marketplace. I don't even know what this marketplace, this segment is called, the sport utility truck or the crossover truck. But there's definitely a market for it. Maybe not for the hardcore off-roaders, but for somebody that maybe has a big beefy tow rig and a nice trail rig, and then they need something to get back and forth to work that isn't driving their dually or driving their rock crawler, but they want something reasonable. This might be that truck. Let's take it for a spin. This Maverick is the Lariat edition, which means it has these nice brown seats with like a gray accent. I don't think they're actually leather. I think it's something Ford calls Active X material. Let's see, I'm gonna run through the extra options. This is a 2022 Cyber Orange metallic paint, which I like. Floor liners with carpeted mats, Fx4 off-road package, 17-inch aluminum wheel, tonneau cover, power tilt slide moonroof, Lariat luxury package, which includes these seats, bed liner, 6 D-Link bed connectors, Sirius satellite radio, rear parking sensors, Ford Copilot 360 protective film on the hood and fenders. And let me show you how we start this thing. So in between here, there is the start stop button. Push that guy. Here is all your HVAC stuff. Here is a screen. Then down here you have the parking brake. You dial this knob to put it into gear. This is that low button. You push that and it keeps it in first and second gear. And then down here, this allows you to pick the different terrains. So if you push this button, then it comes up on your dash, like there's a tow haul mode, a slippery road, like for snow and ice, mud and ruts, sand, normal. So we'll leave it on normal. Then beside that, if you push this button, that is traction control on or off. This turns on or off that auto start. This is hill descent control, and then this is something called auto hold, which is a little bit weird to me. So auto hold basically keeps the vehicle from rolling backwards. So if you come up to a stop sign on a hill, you push auto hold, and then you can take your foot off the brake and just sit there, and then when you put your foot on the gas, then the vehicle takes off. So auto hold is just to hold the vehicle from rolling backwards, because people don't want to sit with their foot on the brake pedal, I guess. Hey, I don't know. People like stuff, gadgets. It's like we don't drive cars anymore. We have cars that drive for us. But you know, some people like that. As just an overall vehicle, like, it's comfortable. It has heated seats, has a heated steering wheel. It has multiple cup holders. There's a place down on the dash you can set your cell phone and it automatically charges it. We're gonna go down this way. It's peppy, accelerates good. Doesn't sound particularly cool, but it gets up and goes. It's a nice size. It's not like a really big truck. In fact, I'm gonna take this side road here. Braking is good. Cornering, it feels good. Getting blinded by the sun. It's a fun little truck to drive because it's kind of more sports car feely. The full independent suspension kind of is fun for rallying around on mountain roads. The little engine has good power band. It seems to pull, and it's an 8-speed, so it has plenty of different gearing to keep the engine in its happy place. And it's comfortable. Like, there's nothing that's like impeding your feet when they're on the pedals. Your leg's not like rubbing up against the center console. There's an armrest. One thing that's definitely weird, in fact, I gotta pull over and show you this, because this thing threw me for a loop when I first got in it. And I showed it to a friend of mine, and he also was like, what the heck is that? So here on the door, if you open the door, look at this. There's like a gap where you would grab the door. Like you can grab it here, you can't grab it here. And then there's this like open section so you can put like a water bottle. But the first time I went to get in, I like grabbed the door and I went, where's the grab handle? So there's something there, but there's like this gap, which just kind of feels weird. But hey, somebody thinks it's cool. All right, let's keep trucking. It's definitely a fun little truck to drive. Like if you were looking for either a little truck to send your kid to college with, though I don't know how many of you are buying new vehicles to send your kid to school in. I'm sure some of you are. This is not a terrible option. I mean, it has seating for 4. They can haul stuff. I could totally see my dad, like he was a full-size truck guy. Now he has like an old mid-size truck. My parents have a place down in Florida that they like to tinker around in. Like I could see him having this truck down there because it gives them the option to haul things like, I don't know, plants, furniture, whatever things, but also it's a nice, easy to drive little truck, easy to get in and out of. I hate to like call this like an old person's truck because there's like, I'm sure there's lots of kids that would be like, oh yeah, that's a cool little truck to as my first vehicle. I don't really relate to that very much because I never had a new car when I was a kid. Not that I'm saying kids shouldn't have new cars. Lots of kids save up their money and buy new cars. Lots of parents buy their kids new cars. And I think this is a pretty reasonable vehicle for as somebody's first vehicle. Gets good fuel economy. Yeah, it's a nice size. It's pretty comfortable at speed. Like you drive it down the highway at 60 miles an hour, whatever the speed limit is, and it seems to like ride well. Plus, like I'm here on a Weavy Mountain Road, and it's fun. It's fun to cruise around in. So it doesn't feel like a little truck. It feels like a little SUV or a little car, which is probably because it's probably closer to being a car than it is to being the pickup truck that most of us have grown up driving, which is body on frame, at least one solid axle. This is kind of like a zippy little go-kart. So how does it do as an off-road vehicle? Well, let's drive off the road here. I mean, it sits pretty low. Approach and departure angles aren't terrible, but this is definitely not in the same realm as a Bronco or a Wrangler. Even like the Gladiator truck probably has way better ground clearance than this. Let's see if I can get in here to my back hill. I drive in here. Can I make this really sharp turn? I definitely don't want to scratch up that pretty orange paint. Oh boy. Here we go. Sneak around here. Yikes. Okay. How does it do on this hill? So, if I push this button for low, then it just keeps it down in first or second gear. It doesn't give it a low range, it just keeps it from upshifting. And it's all-wheel drive, kind of driving up this semi-steep hill on my back 40. Oop, it rolls back. Now, if I hit this auto hold, so the auto hold doesn't hold you from rolling back unless you step on the brake enough to, but I don't know why you would need that. You could just put your other foot on the brake, your left foot on the brake, and then put your right foot on the gas. Hey, there's a market for everything. Somebody will say, well, why would you want to use both feet? Why wouldn't you just have a button that you can push that holds your car from rolling backwards? All right, now we'll do some hill descent. Push this other button. And now that is keeping us from rocketing down the hill. I was trying to figure out if you can increase the speed. It kind of just holds you at 3 miles per hour. Some of these you can like increase the speed that you're driving by pushing up and down on the speedometer or on the cruise control button. Apparently this one is not that. Now if I push that and turn it off, okay, take my foot off, and now we just start rocketing down the hill. I can hear some like small weeds and brush hitting the skid plates on the bottom. Oh, and we're still in low mode, so it's not upshifting. So it's revving up like crazy. Let's see if we can turn that off. Well, it does all right off-road. I mean, it's not a rock crawler. It's not a pre-runner. It's not a mud truck. It's kind of like something that you wouldn't feel bad bouncing down a gravel road. But it's definitely not a performance off-road machine. So what is it? What is the Ford Maverick Fx4? Well, I think it's like the perfect old man truck. Like, I would like to think that me and all of you will, when we're old and gray, we will still be driving rock crawlers and pre-runners and Ford Raptors and new Rubicons and Broncos. But I think the truth of the matter is that as we get older, sometimes we just want something reasonable, like a little truck that we can drive to the diner and see all of our crony buddies complain about politics and how crazy kids are these days, and then go to the hardware store and buy a handful of screws and to fix something at home, and then head down to the creek and go fishing. I mean, this thing will tow a little bit. It would tow a boat. It has a bed, so you could put some stuff in it, not big stuff. You could probably fit like a washer or a dryer in it, but not both, unless you put the tailgate down and ran a giant ratchet strap around everything. Gets good fuel economy. It's peppy and fun. It's good on weavy roads, but it's definitely not in the same realm as an F-150 or even a Ranger or Gladiator or those smaller trucks. So I think there's a great market for it. I think there's a lot of people that only need this much capability. And if you're honest with yourself and you can say, that's really all I need, then this might be the perfect truck for you. Or if you're like me, you're like, no, I need a big old dumb truck that gets terrible fuel economy and I can haul a whole bunch of junk with it. it's probably not the truck for you. All right, that's it for this First Drives with Fred. I've been driving the Ford Maverick Lariat Edition Fx4. It's bright orange. It's pretty cool. All right, we'll see you guys next time. Brap. Old man truck. I'm glad I'm not an old man yet. Brap, brap. You know, in Australia they have these and they call them utes. And like, it's kind of a big deal over there. I've never gone and messed with one though. I've never driven a ute per se. But I have friends that have. My buddy David Tracy just went, oh, I just used the skid plate on that dirt pile. My buddy David Tracy just went to Australia and fixed up a ute. I should ask him how this compares to that. All right. Oh, you know what? I wonder if I can call him. Phone. Contacts. A vid. All right. 4 37-inch tires. Ugh. Is this gonna fit in here? All right, so that's not gonna work. Might have to actually remove this tonneau cover completely. I don't know that it flips up another time. How does this work? I don't really want to completely disassemble the truck. Let's see here. Oh, wow. This is gonna eat the entire bed. There you go. 3 tires across the back. Big old ratchet strap running through them all. And it hooks up to the tie-down tracking that's inside here. Can't close the tailgate, but I do have a license plate down there on the rear bumper. So we're good to drive. I don't think it's gonna fall out. I'm gonna go deliver them. I'll be back. Come on, little truck. Let's do little truck stuff.